the Town Fair Tire Studio. Now, law enforcement officials tell TMZ Sports the older brother of the Giants, Janoris Jenkins, is a person of interest in the case of the dead body discovered at JJ's New Jersey home. They spoke with Ontario County, New York District Attorney James Ritz, who tells them that William Jenkins is a person of interest in relation to the dead body that was found at his brother's house. Bergen County wants to talk to him. Now, here's the twist. According to jail records obtained by TMZ, 34-year-old William Jenkins was arrested in upstate New York on June 26th at 1:46 a.m., 9 hours before the body was discovered at JJ's home. Now, it appears William was arrested for an unrelated parole warrant, but now investigators in the case feel that he knows something about the death of, I'm going to pronounce the last name. It could go a bunch of different ways. It's Roosevelt, R-E-N-E. It could be Renee. It could be Reen, R-E-N-E, Roosevelt Reen. I'll say right now because I don't know if it's Renee or Reen, but let's say Reen. Roosevelt Reen. Ritz tells TMZ Sports there will be an extradition process to bring William from Ontario to Bergen County, which is about 300 miles away. Important to note, as of right now, officials want you to know that William Jenkins has not been classified as a suspect. Is not. It's a person of interest. He is not yet a suspect in the case. He is what they classify as a person of interest. Not. And for those of you that get crazy about politics these days, which is most of you, the way the world is now, you will have something to really obsess on now that it was learned today that Justice Anthony Kennedy is going to step down. So nothing gets people more riled up than the naming of a new Supreme Court justice. Nothing. And in these times, it doesn't take much to get people riled up. So Anthony Kennedy has announced he is stepping down from the High Court in what has been a very interesting week for the High Court in this, their final week of the summer. So we will have the process to begin. Nick in Queens, what's up, Nick?
Hey, Mike, thanks for taking my call.
What's
Just
happening?
got a question about a trade, your opinion. Do you think Andujar, Frazier, and one of the young pitchers that we have up now pitching for us is a good enough package to get a number one or a two like a DeGrom or the pitcher from Tampa Bay?
Depends who the third person is. You got two. You see, you gave me two teams that don't want to trade with the Yankees. You gave me the Mets, and you gave me Tampa Bay. You gave me the two teams. Tampa shares the city with them, and it shares the division with them. The other team shares the other city with them. So, you know, it would have been nice if you gave me a team that did not really not want to deal with the Yankees. And you gave me the two teams that really don't want to deal with the Yankees as the two teams. Now, they both have a pitcher, I agree, but I need another team because that's what makes those trades so hard. Neither owner wants to trade with the Yankees. Alan in the Bronx, what's up, Al?
Hey, Mike, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, what's up?
So first of all, talking about Sanchez, it's insane to even consider. This is a guy that does what no one else can do on the offensive side as a catcher. And to even consider it, and for anybody who's talking negative about Manny, all I know is I broke into a cold sweat every single time he stepped into the box.
The guy was one of the great hitters. There were years he hit 500 against the Yankees in full seasons. I mean, talking about, full years of games. 500 against them. I say to Joe Torre, Joe, I didn't get Manny out. He goes, I don't know how to get Manny out. I have no idea how to get Manny out. We do everything. We can't get him out. He was unbelievable. And was he a goofball? A total goofball. Did he hustle all the time? No. Did he pay attention all the time? No. Did he go up there and just hit? Every time. Every time. I mean, look at those numbers for a right-handed slugger to hit 312 is unbelievable. A guy like Manny Ramirez, the only way he's getting a leg hit is if he hits it off somebody's leg. I mean, he's not getting a hit, running, he's not beating out a hit. And he hits 312. And it's 555 home runs. Probably was as good a curveball hitter as I ever saw. He could stay so far back before he would commit. He'd keep his hands back for so long before he would commit. It's a love watching him hit. Mike in Valley Stream, what's up, Mike?
Yeah, how you doing, Mike? Just wanted to talk about the Yankees. Thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
I have like a trade proposal, like if it even gets done. But like I was thinking like Esteban Florial, Justice Sheffield, Clint Frazier, and Acevedo for Bumgarner. If it's even like you know.
I don't see them doing that. I don't see them trading him. I mean, listen, if
not Andujar though, they're definitely not going to trade Andujar or Torres. They're off limits. Definitely off.
Andujar's not off limits. If they, I can tell you right now, if Bumgarner was in the deal, the Yankees would do it. I mean,
I just thought because DeGrom, there's no way the Mets are trading DeGrom to the Yankees. That's out.
And Bumgarner, if Bumgarner was available, the Yankees,
that was awesome.
the Yankees,
I would do it in a heartbeat.
The Yankees would trade Andujar. They really would. They wouldn't trade Torres, but they would trade Andujar. The Yankees would give up a lot to get Bumgarner. A lot. Bumgarner to the Yankees, everybody would have to get out of the way. That's the difference maker. That is a complete difference maker. Him in the pitcher for the Yankees. Jason in Clifton, what's up, Jason?
Mike, I just got to disagree with you on this wild card stance because it's in basketball. Golden State.
Listen, we're not talking basketball here. We're talking baseball.
I'm talking baseball.
Well, you brought up basketball. Don't bring up basketball.
No, just
stay in your own sport.
No, okay. Say with baseball, like you got a team. Say both teams win over 100 games.
Right.
You got a one-game play-in.
Right.
And what I was comparing this to basketball in the sense of if in a conference. Could you imagine a team like Golden State because they came in second place?
Basketball is a play again. The reason why I just told you to stay off basketball is because basketball is a playoff sport. The regular season, season proves nothing. Nobody
really cares about who wins the division, Mike.
That is the dumbest statement. That is the dumbest statement you ever. You just made the dumbest statement you can make about baseball. Is that nobody cares who wins the division? It is all based on winning the division. It's all based on winning the division. In baseball, that's what the race is for.
Who wins the conference. People remember who wins the conference.
Jason, you could not be wrong. First of all, as soon as you started with your basketball, I could tell you were going to make a dumb analogy that made no sense. It is basketball eliminates nothing in the regular season. The whole season is for the postseason. The regular season is worthless. It's completely worthless. It means nothing, the regular season. It is an exercise. The Major League season is not an exercise. There's two sports where the regular season is not an exercise, football and baseball. So to say to baseball the division doesn't matter is a dumb statement. You don't have a right to say a word when you don't win the division in baseball. Same thing in football. You don't win your division, tough. You're lucky you're playing at all. The idea is to win your division. In basketball, they even put the standings up where they don't even put the divisions in. They could care less. It's a postseason sport. All that's there is to eliminate the garbage. That's all they're trying to do. And sell you regular season games because they have to. It's a postseason sport that takes 2 months to play the postseason. Baseball is a regular season sport that has a postseason. It is not a postseason sport. So to say the division in baseball doesn't matter is a ridiculous statement. And you should not be guaranteed anything if you don't win your division. And they put the teeth back in the division title, which is what they needed to do. That was the best thing they did. Because to then have a situation where you get no difference in the outcome of whether you win the division or be a wild card, then it eliminates even competing in September. I saw the Yankees and Red Sox play a series in late September where they didn't even care who won. Why would you set that up? Now they care. because they don't want their season to come down to one game. And that's why you leave it that way, because you're giving them a reason to compete in the regular season, which is what you're trying to do. The thing baseball had to do more than anything else was put some meaning back in September. They were losing September to the NFL terribly. Now they've put some meaning back in September. You have wild cards so that you don't eliminate 4 or 5 cities where the teams are competing and at least winning games, and you give them a chance to get into the postseason. So you keep the cities alive. So if you have a runaway winner in a division, you keep the cities alive in September. That's why you have wild cards, but the wild card is not to take the place of a division title. And that's why you don't get treated well if you get the wild card. Tough luck. You're lucky you get it. You don't win your division. You're lucky you even get a sniff at the postseason. Second place teams should have nothing to say. They should be. They're lucky they're there. Now do the best you can do and win it. And if you win 100 games and lose in one game, tough. Win your division. Yankees and Red Sox both know that, and that's why they'll fight and do everything they can do to win the division title this year. And that's the way it should be. Anthony in Staten Island. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, Mike.
What's happening?
When Tanaka comes back, do you see them going to a 6-man rotation or sending Loizaga down?
I don't know. It depends really. It really depends on his health. They could go to a 6. I don't know if they want to go to a 6 with Severino. I don't know if he wants the extra day. They could go to a little bit of a flex where Severino stays on his days and you work guys around him, and give extra guys extra days when they need him, and use a 6 starter in and out, yin and yang, a 6 starter in and out. They could do that, and just keep like 2 guys on a 5-day and then flex the other guys around the off days. You could do that. I mean, and just make sure Severino starts every 5th day. You can work something like that if you want to. So they might go to a little bit more than a 5 with Tanaka. It's possible. I don't think they have to, but they might.
They said Drury's not going to be playing first now, so I guess it's Bird until lights fall off. I mean, what are they going to do at first base?
The Yankees are being a little cryptic with this first base situation. Last week they were going to work Drury into the mix. Now they're backing off that a little bit. I think they do want Bird to really come up and get this done. What it also does is it also gives new life to Walker, is what it does. It makes me think there might be some interest in Drury at another position where someone knows he's going to be involved. They're talking to someone who's looking at him and thinking of him as part of the trade. That could be part of it right now, too, See, to bring Drury up here and put him on the bench doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't, because I think the most likely thing for him is to be traded. So he'd be he's going to help a lot of teams. The guy can play. If you're trading with a team, a lot of teams would be interested in him. No question. That does keep Walker in the mix as the other guy, at first base when you need him. Like today, he gave Bird off. He put Walker at first base as an example. He gave a couple guys off today. He gave Judge off today. He gave Bird off today. He gave Romine off today. As he gets ready for the Red Sox series, gave those 3 guys off today. As they go against the Phillies this evening with Sessa on the mound. So he gave a couple of guys off. Walker needs some at-bats. He also needs a couple of hits because he has really gone cold of late too. And, maybe he's found this role tough. He has had his at-bats limited, and then to come off the bench and play in that vein is tough. It is. But they have backed off a little bit with the idea of playing Drury at first. I don't know that means he automatically will never, but right now it looks like Walker's going to be the other guy. Joe in Jersey, what's up, Joe?
Hey, Mike, what's going on?
What's happening?
I just want to make my point, Mike. Congrats on the Hall of Fame, by the way. Well deserved.
Thank you.
Mike, I'm listening to you talk about Manny Ramirez, and here's the problem I have is that he is probably the greatest right-handed hitter, him and Piazza, I've ever seen. Mike, you got to bring steroids up, but he's not going to the Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm just talking about in the batter's box, Joe. I wasn't getting into Hall of Fame with steroids with any of these guys. Joe, I tell you this right now. I know what guys tested positive and what guys didn't. I don't know what guys took steroids, didn't take steroids. It's the last thing I think about. I try not to think about it at all. I didn't say he was going to the Hall of Fame, but that doesn't diminish what I saw him do on the field. You can fill in the blanks about that. For A-Rod, for him, for every guy who touched the steroid, I'm not getting into that right now because I just can't be bothered with it. You can be at the door to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. All I'm saying is what a player he was. I'm not talking about steroids, not steroids, or what he did or didn't do. The guy was one of the great hitters I ever saw. That's all I was talking about. And I wasn't even thinking about Hall of Fame. Wasn't even thinking about steroids. I was just thinking about him as a player. And, in our minds as baseball fans, Manny doesn't need to go into the Hall of Fame to tell us that he was good. We know how good he was. We watched him play. Now, as far as the steroid thing, I'm not arguing with you at all. I wasn't even thinking down that road at all. Not even a little. Back after this.